Hey, it's Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres, and as promised, I wanted to show you some products that are known as charcuterie products. Charcuterie is an art of taking meat and curing it. It was done back in our history in order to preserve the meat. So everything I'm going to show you right now is shelf stable without refrigeration. I'm going to only show you three products here, and they're just three of my favorites. For a lot of different reasons. We've gotten good at making these over the last 3 years because we wound up having to slaughter a bunch of our pigs, and we didn't have the refrigeration space to do it. So we did a lot of experimenting with charcuterie and read some books, and I think we have a pretty decent product. Now, with this latest ruling, our animals will be able to go through USDA slaughter with a little bit more regulation work that we have to get behind us here in our shop. We're going to be able to make these charcuterie products and make them available to you. This is the best stuff you can get. So if you're one of those people that likes to experiment with, you know, what royal people eat and rich people eat, you can do it. And we can do it at a very reasonable price. Actually, this process is not really all that complex once you understand it. And I think we've got a pretty good system down of being able to create it and do it pretty reasonably. Okay, first product I want to show you is called Copa. Now, I'll show it to you the way it would be hanging in our hanging room. Our hanging room is a climate-controlled little room that keeps the meat at a correct temperature. And this is a piece that's been ravaged already. It doesn't last long if it's left sitting on the counter, but like I said, it is shelf stable, so when we break one out, we can put it on the counter and then the kids can have at it. But Copa is made out of a muscle that's right behind the neck, part of the loin actually. And it's taken out. I just got photobombed. It's taken out and it's trimmed and then dredged in salt, and then there's a process of turning it and checking the pH of it and all this stuff. And then it's put in this bag, just like a sock. We get them in huge rolls, and then we hang it. And this has to hang minimum about 6 weeks before it's truly ready. And it gets a little on the hard side, it dehydrates a little bit, and then you're left with a product that looks like this. This is a cross section of it. See that deep red meat? It just looks really good. And then we cut it into slices. This would be a little thick, but if I cut it any thinner than that, it would kind of wilt over on you. You see that? And I mean, this is good. You make a sandwich out of this, or you cut it up in pieces, put it in salad. You can just cut chunks off and have it with cheese, crackers, and red wine. And you have arrived. You really have arrived. This is Copa. And this is one of my favorite products that comes out of the Mangalitsa. Useful in cooking. I mean, the sky is the limit with that stuff. And it is shelf stable and very reasonably priced. All right, the next product I want to show you is Lardo. Lardo. This is kind of a thin piece, so this was off of a pig that we took some of the fat and went with the chops, and then some of the fat stayed with the lardo. So you can see that's the skin on the back, and we leave that on there. This gets dredged in salt and pepper. Sometimes we use rosemary. You can put anything you want in it. So when you get it from us, it would look like this, but it's shelf stable also. It can go on a plate and go in the fridge. I'd recommend not leaving it out on the counter because it will get kind of a little bit soft and it will absorb other flavors. You don't want that. So I'd keep it in a bag, like a Ziploc or something like that, just to keep it fresh. But it doesn't have to be refrigerated. It's shelf stable. This can be sliced off in pieces and eaten with your cheese, crackers, and Copa. Very, very good. Very good. Or it can be used in cooking. You know, you can chunk it up, cube it up, and throw it in the pan before you put in the green beans fresh out of the garden, and man, just good stuff. Got a lot of uses. Can be used in place of lard. Chefs really go crazy for it. The next, so that's lardo. And of course it goes against the grain of what we've been taught about fat and all that, but really the flavor is in the fat. So for chefs who are trying to gain an edge and be better than the next chef, that is a real force multiplier right there for them. This one, this is called Guanciale. Guanciale. Depends where you're from in Italy, the way they say it. Guanciale, you know. But what this is the jowl right here on the pig. You see that flops around. And it's taken off very carefully. This one was not taken off in a USDA shop. This was taken off right here at the farm. And then it is dredged in salt and lightly smoked. Look at that. Look at that. And this can be used in a lot of different ways. It can be used as copa is used, sliced off, chunked up and cooked with. You can slice it off as pieces of bacon and have it with your eggs in the morning. You can drape it over a meatloaf, you know, thin slices, and it makes the meatloaf really special. I could go on and on about this. You can put it in your pocket when you go out hunting. It is shelf stable. One of the things that we stress about these animals is the high quality fat. So you may be looking at that and saying, well, there's no lean in that. Well, that's true. It gets a little bit more lean as you go into it. But this fat is really special. I mean, when you cook it up or eat it raw, this is ready to eat right now. This is cured. This has been hung for several months. All right, but that's a really nice product, Guanciale. Okay, well, that's just 3 of them. It goes on and on and on, and I'm not going to spend too much time on each one because I want to make it informative and enlightening. It's Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Remember, anyone can farm.